A few years ago, I had the opportunity to spend some time visiting our second graders on a Sunday morning during their CCD class, and they were discussing the sacrament of baptism. At the end of class, I gave them a homework assignment to ask their mom and dad the date that they were baptized and to share that with their classmates the next week. And to my surprise, they took this homework assignment very seriously. The following week, each of them were able to tell us what their baptismal date was. When I told them my date, April 20, 1958, one of the young second graders raised his hand and said, "Deacon Andy, you are ancient." I keep that date in my cell phone calendar with a reminder every year of one of the most important dates in my life, the day I was baptized. Baptisms are a joyful occasion. It's a day of hope and possibilities. It's about a new life being welcomed into the church. And this coming month in June, St. Elizabeth will celebrate 20 baptisms. Isn't that awesome? 20. And I'm sure Father Jay would agree with me. It's a tremendous responsibility bringing new life into the church. And there is something very specific and very particular about the baptismal ritual. We call it the Trinitarian formula. And during the ritual, we invoke the Holy Trinity, pouring the water over the baby's head 3 times using the words, "I baptize you in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit." Each time I pronounce these powerful words, it reminds me of my own baptism and the manifestation of the Trinity operating in my life. Today is Trinity Sunday. It marks a special day of remembrance of the one God in 3 persons operating in the world around us. You know, I once heard the Trinity described as God's grace, Christ's love, and the Holy Spirit's fellowship. Grace, love, fellowship. Trinity Sunday reminds us that from the very beginning of our Christian lives, we were sealed in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. We are a Trinitarian people. At the beginning of the Mass, we signed ourselves with the cross. And at the end of Mass, we will sign ourselves with the cross as a remembrance and a restatement of our own baptism, which is an incredible gift of God's love. It's also an incredible responsibility for each of us to be witnesses of that love to others by our words and our deeds. Just think about it. Just think about the sign of the cross for a moment. When we touch our heads, we are reminded of the mind of God, who loved us and created us in his image and likeness. And when we touch our heart, we are reminded of the love of his Son on the cross and the love of his Sacred Heart. And when we touch our shoulders, we are reminded of the courage and the strength given to us by the Holy Spirit to be God's arms and hands here on earth. Near the end of the baptismal rite, the Godfather lights a small baptismal candle from this tall Easter candle over here by the baptismal font. And the priest or the deacon will proclaim, "Receive the light of Christ." And this symbolism is powerful. Those who are baptized are marked. They are sealed as in ownership as in belonging to our triune God. It then becomes our responsibility to live in the light of Christ, to be drawn to that light, and then to strive to give the light of Christ to others. In our gospel today, Jesus tells his disciples to go and make disciples of all the nations. In other words, he gives them instructions, a command. He sends them out on a mission, just like the apostles in our gospel today. Jesus challenges us to go forth to be a witness to the mystery of the Trinity, simply by our lives. And yes, the Trinity is a mystery. But what isn't a mystery is God's love operating in the world. And it goes on and on throughout time and space and history. Teaching the world to clothe the naked, to feed the hungry, to shelter the homeless, to visit the sick and the homebound, to love others as our Trinitarian God has loved us. Today, at the end of Mass, I will use the dismissal, "Go forth, the Mass has ended." It's not just announcing the end of Mass. In Latin, the words are ite missa est, and it's really a Roman army command. It simply means go. You are sent on mission. It is a command to go out of this church to live out the faith we have just celebrated together this morning. You and I, as baptized Christians, are being sent by Christ on a mission in his name, just like the apostles in the gospel, to go and to bring our Trinitarian faith out into our daily world. Branded in the name of the Trinity at our baptism, strengthened by the sign of the cross and nourished by the Eucharist, we are invited to make the mystery of the love of the Trinity come alive. We are to go forth because Christ is sending us to bring his light to others. God bless you.